Recently, I've had some desperate globe believers cite the privatization of space as somehow proof of the globe. Sorry, lads, as you're about to see, the privatization of space, once you scratch beneath the surface, is actually incredibly damning and rather revealing, as we're about to see. We've got several clips to look at. One involves SpaceX and Blue Origin and looking at their roots, which kind of exposes this so-called space race of the private sector. And then after that, we're going to look at a new player on the scene, Astroscale, who supposedly got our best interests and are going to protect us from all the space junk in space. Again, when we scratch beneath the surface, all we unearth is an awful smell and nothing but a silly charade to get us to believe in absurdities like scientifically impossible globes. For the record, the flat earth in the title of all my videos, the flat earth for me is simply demonstrable reality. Demonstrable reality is simply the scientific demonstrations that have been tested and verified by all, the results of which prove the globe's impossible. That's the flat earth. You want to answer all the questions? We've got to fully explore. Very simple. Until then, I stand by the things that can be tested and verified by all. That alone proves the globe's impossible, and the space that is cited to us, the performances and the private sector and all that, is nothing but a charade anyway. But then when you dig beneath the surface, not even dig, scratch, it exposes itself for all to see anyway. So let's have a look. There are no private companies in space or in the space industry. Blue Origin, SpaceX, just the same pantomime company disguised as little rivals in this new sort of supposed space race. Just the same entity, just one big silly pantomime company. And it's obvious they're actually showing us. I feel they have to. The same with space. It's not mistakes, it's on purpose. I feel they have to show us that it's horse shit of the highest order on some sort of karmic level. And this space tourism charade is exactly the same. We got Blue Origin, SpaceX, this big rivalry. But again, they're showing you it's just one big silly pantomime company. Like I say, most of the people know that who come here, but let's have a quick peep. This is an article from 2017 regarding SpaceX nearly going bust in 2008. 9 years ago, SpaceX nearly failed itself out of existence. It's a pretty emotional day, says Elon. Come down here. 9 years ago, SpaceX almost went bankrupt, okay? So in 2008, SpaceX nearly went under. Bear with me. So what saved the private company known as SpaceX in 2008 from going under? That's right, NASA, awarding them a big contract, commercial resupply services. 2008 awarded them a 1.6 billion contract, and of course they've gone on to do more contracts since. But that's what saved the company. But of course, essentially, NASA own SpaceX. They're actually showing you, without NASA, SpaceX were done. And it's just a front anyway, but I feel this is their way of showing you. Like I said, in 2008, if NASA didn't award this contract, SpaceX were done for. This is their way of showing you. It's all the same. They own it. NASA owns SpaceX. There's nothing private in this space tourism charade, and we're going to dig a bit deeper in a minute. Bear with me. So if that wasn't bad enough, NASA essentially, well, making it obvious that they own the company anyway. If they didn't beforehand, then they certainly do now. Without NASA, the company weren't anything, so you might as well say that was a sneaky way of buying the company. So if that wasn't bad enough, when we look at SpaceX's financials, we come down and look at the lead investors. Who's the main lead investor here? The United States Space Force, the US government. So you've got NASA pretty much own the company anyway, but one of the lead investors is the United States government, United States Space Force. That is not a private company. And like I've said, they have to show you. They have to make it obvious. Like I say, it must be on some karmic level. Bear with me. What about Jeff Bezos, the Amazon Superman? What about him? His company's private, surely. Well, let's have a look at the financials. We come down, lead investors, there's two. Let's have a look. The two lead investors of Blue Origin, the United States United States Space Force and NASA. They are telling you it's all a big silly pantomime. You only got to look at Captain Kirk's silly charade the other day. A collection of tricks to get you to believe in absurdities. So of course it's all the same big company disguised as little private companies to get you to believe in this silly pantomime. We've seen that SpaceX are owned by NASA and their main funders are the US government. And we got Blue Origin, supposedly a private company. They're two lead investors. Where are they? Come back. They're two lead investors. The United States Space Force, the United States government essentially, and NASA. I mean, they couldn't make it more obvious if they tried. Like I say, they have to show you because of some karmic kind of level. Bear with me. And that's why I laugh when I see all this propaganda regarding the rivalry. Elon Musk, Blue Origin, head to head. Elon Musk on Blue Origin suing NASA. You can't sue your way out of the moon. Why are Blue Origin suing NASA when NASA are one of their main funders? It's all a silly joke. Clearly, NASA are funding Blue Origin. We've just seen that. And yet Blue Origin are supposedly suing NASA. Can you see how ridiculous it all is? They're all the same pantomime company. It's just nonsense. Look at the stories painted in the media to get you to believe in this absurdity that is the globe and of course space. So if that wasn't bad enough, check this out from Astroscale. This is how desperate they've got here now. The latest bit of the pantomime as regards space. We've now supposedly got private companies now getting involved, putting in tenders to clean up space, get rid of the junk problem. In this instance, Astroscale were at their website. They are fresh off the back of their first ever simulated capture in space just a few months ago, which is strange. We'll have a look at that in a minute, by the way, which is strange because when we scroll down here they are, the team, all those wages, head office, computers, designers, must be pretty expensive. But strange, they were founded in 2013, so they've been going 8 years. All those wages, all that cost, designs, headquarters, rent, everything like that chucked in. They've been going 8 years, but they've only just now done a simulated capture in space just a couple of months ago. So who's been funding this charade for 8 years, I wonder? It's just obvious based on that alone. No offence, lads. If you've been going 8 years, I would have expected at least 6 years of history of you capturing space debris. Not 8 years of wages, stories, claims, CGI, and you still haven't even done a real capture, just a simulated one. Who in their right mind would fund that charade? Oh, that's right. I'm sure if we dug a little bit deeper into the roots of this company, it would be quite obvious. I'm not going to go there today. We're going to look at this incredible achievement made by these people, their first simulated capture. Let's put aside the fact they've been going 8 years paying wages and they still haven't even won a tender. We'll put that aside for a minute. It's just so obvious at this point in time. So let's have a look at this historical first for Astroscale, the first private company that I'm aware of to supposedly retrieve space junk from lower Earth orbit, albeit in a simulated form. Essentially, they supposedly sent a craft into lower Earth orbit, it jettisoned an item and then retrieved it, supposedly simulating space junk retrieval. Okay, so let's have a look at this historical achievement, no doubt captured on film.
seconds until execution of capture sequence.
Copy that. Let's put on a posh British accent to try and hide the fact that what we're presenting here is CGI. Never mind that any company in their right mind would have cameras all over that, bearing in mind we're a new company, old boy, that we'd want to see any disasters or any failings caught on film from multiple angles. That would make sense. But no, we haven't got that. We've got CGI, so I'll put up the British posh accent and we'll distract you. Over. Ridiculous.
The aim of the first capture was to release the client from the servicer and then...
Mate, I hate to break this to you, but the client and the servicer are both CGI. Now, if this was my company, I'd have cameras all over the place, capturing this from multiple different angles to further improve the tech and, of course, procedures. But no, I'll bring back the posh British man. We've got CGI here. The client mated with the servicer. Yes, it did now.
Recapture it using the magnetic plate.
Servicer and client are locked together by a mechanism called the light band. What we did was unlock this mechanism so that the two could be separated. What we did first was extend the capture mechanism of the servicer to contact the client.
So that was a very close maneuver. So we just gently pushed the client off the magnetic capture mechanism.
And once the two drifted apart for a couple of seconds, we re-extended this capture mechanism.
And then gave the servicer spacecraft a gentle thrust, so a small delta V.
Where's the footage of this historical capture? That's right, you haven't got any, mate. It just came in the form of data and CGI. Oh dear.
That moved us forward to capture the client. Should be grab. Copy that, AS Japan. Excellent news, that's confirmed capture, everyone. Well done.
We actually met.
Yes, that's confirmed capture. The client, CGI client, is now mated with the CGI server. I've got data on my screen, so this must be flying around a scientifically impossible ball. Over.
Managed to do this in a single pass. We managed to trigger an automated time sequence on board of the servicer. Just a single...
We triggered an automated time. It's all automated. It gets done somewhere else. Someone else does it. Look at his screen. The man's not got any involvement in this CGI thing whatsoever. It just gets Look how obvious this is at this point.
Command to tell the servicer execute this sequence of commands that we uploaded on board of your memory, and we managed to see this all using the telemetry.
Oh, that's really going to shed light on things. We've got multiple different camera angles here to see the client and servicer getting on just fine, yo.
Provided by the servicer, so we knew that everything was fine after that.
For the next part of the mission,
so the numbers on the screen told you that everything was fine and it was a success, and then you saw the CGI animation showing you that as well. So yeah, sweet as a nut.
We're going to be proving that we can upload automated programs which will enable the servicer to run without specific ground commanding.
There you go. It just made it easier for the fraudsters. Now they don't need to. It's already uploaded, so now they don't even need to have any involvement. Where's the footage of this achievement of the capture anyway? You've still not proved you've done it. It's only CGI. It's obviously fake, lads.
The success of this first capture was the conclusion of months of very hard work with the UK team and in collaboration.
Company's been going since 2013, mate. Wages being paid left, right and centre, and all you've done, your only achievement so far is numbers on a screen and a CGI servicer mating with the CGI client. That's it.
With our Japanese colleagues. It is also the promise of future successes and yeah, very exciting prospects.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, is the desperation of heliocentric space. It's just a fantasy world, cartoons, silly stories. And they're trying to get some more clout because clearly the globe's been steamrolled. It's impossible. Even the representatives of it online make it look ridiculous now with their propaganda and their idiocy. I mean, flying cows. I mean, come on, lads, sort yourselves out. And if it wasn't bad enough, we've now got supposed private companies that have been operating for 8 years, and their only achievement, despite paying wages left, right and centre, is to get a CGI servicer to mate with a CGI client. And of course they got the data on the screen to tell them everything was okay. I mean, if you cannot see this at this point in time, that's why I don't waste my time with you guys. When you're ready and you can think with a bit of clarity, I'm here. But until then, I am not entertaining your delusions. Sorry. If you want to believe this, then that's up to you. But do not expect me to get in any conversations with you about your fantasies. It's ridiculous, lads.